Jay White versus Christopher Barnett. Jay White was a U.S. Marine that has trained in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu with Renzo Gracie and Randy Couture.
It feels good to make them want to quit and to punch them so the ref pulls you off.
Let's see him extend that Kimura. Oh, he's going to get it. Oh!
Fighting out of Tap Out in Las Vegas, White comes to Tampa to fight a local favorite.
Christopher Barnett, he's more of an unorthodox fighter than more of I've seen. He seems to like the jump, spin kicks, the spin back kicks. He seems pretty explosive. So he just seems like a pretty good all-around mixed martial artist.
Chris Beast Boy Barnett is a Taekwondo and wrestling specialist, but is the biggest threat on the dance floor.
I've got the title of teddy bear sometimes, you know what I mean? Like a lot of people are like, how do you fight? You're always smiling, you're always chipper, da-da-da-da, but when you're in that ring, it's just another feeling, man. Like the switch just goes boom, and I'm ready to go.
Fighting for Team XFC with a 4-0 record, Beast Boy aims to keep his perfect record intact.
I've always had the heavy hands, I didn't have the technique. Now I'm adding technique with the strength, so it's kind of scary now.
Jay White versus Chris Barnett. Next.
I expect you to act accordingly at all times. Any questions from red? Any questions from blue? Hook them up and let's do this. So Barnett dropping, maybe 40 or so to get ready for this fight. If he is indeed 265, as he stepped on the scales, probably about 15 pounds heavier than that coming into this fight now since the weigh-in yesterday.
You know, he actually didn't make the weight at 265 even, you know. So, I mean, you know, and it's not like he can't afford to lose a little bit, you know. So that may show a little bit of discipline issues on his end.
Scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds.
See, already we're seeing a different Jay White. You see where he's standing there, his head's moving. This is all brand new kind of stuff for him. He definitely likes to clinch, take the guys down, and uses very powerful jiu-jitsu.
You can tell he's been working with the boxing team there. Look, a little lighter on his feet, it would appear right now, and a little more of an angle on a boxer stance for Jay White.
Yeah.
This is the most wily fighter that Barnett has faced in his young career.
Yeah, it's actually very hard to get these little single legs and stuff that you would get against the normal athlete because of Barnett's stature. But this is a step up for Barnett. Even though they have the same win ratio, to be honest, Jay White is a much, much better jiu-jitsu practitioner than he's ever faced. So this is a big step up for Christopher.
White very patient, flicking out a jab just to let him know he has one. Now he comes in and they exchange, and a good counter by Barnett on that.
Yeah, he did a good job there. Both threw some pretty good techniques there.
Man,
yeah,
Barnett.
a guy like that, it's just, you know, to be honest, I'm not laughing at it. I mean, I'm just like, it tickles me that he can get away doing those techniques. I mean, with this size, it's incredible. It really shows you what a great little athlete is, and if he did drop some weight, I think he would do so much better.
It's as if they had a fight night on What's Happening, isn't it, when you watch Barnett? He misses with the right. Now he comes in, he's willing to exchange, and there the big guys go.
Yeah, and it was Chris Barnett who grabbed. He was getting the bad end of that deal, and he went for the clinch. Smart move though. Jay needs to keep his hands up. They're a little bit low now. He's kind of going back to some of his old habits. He needs to keep his hands a little higher, especially since that right hand was just a little overextended. But if that was a little bit 3 or 4 inches closer, that would have been nighty-night.
White's thrown 23 strikes. He's landed 9. Barnett's thrown 23, landing 11.
But what the compass strike doesn't show is the effectiveness of the strikes. And I think Jay White's strikes have just been a little bit more effective. You know, he's keeping him a little bit farther at the end of his punches so that Barnett's punches aren't landing quite as hard.
Good kick by White, but there's Barnett still staying in there. Good striking by White, but Barnett is showing he is willing to stand and exchange.
Nice shot.
White lets him go, and coming right back is Barnett. He lands a good right.
Oh, good knee, just barely missed. Boy, almost ripped his nose off, though, huh?
70 strikes thrown between these guys here in the first round. Good way to get this night of XFC action on HDNet started. There you look at the CompuStrike stats at the moment. And a right overhand that glazed against White.
I'll tell you something, what I see about White that I see is a difference. This is a much more controlled guy. He is much more focused. He is, he's not getting, he's getting hit, but he's keeping his composure a lot better. This is a lot better. Ooh, nice counter. Almost caught him.
Barnett's impressing me right now. White has at least 4 or 5 inches in height on him, and he's got the reach, but Barnett has been able to get inside and do some nice counter punching tonight. But you're right, it's a different White than we've seen in the past as Barnett gets his first takedown.
This is where Barnett can be a little bit more dangerous than normal because he's got such an unusual build.
White in some trouble at the moment, trying to swing his way out of it. Back up, right on top of his Barnett. Barnett's finished it. Chris Barnett is still unbeaten in the battle of the big men. Barnett gets the knockout. Jay White was gone for a moment there. Good to see he is responding, and Christopher Barnett continues to be an entertaining guy. When he comes to the cage, when he fights, and when he continues his celebration.
Jay White actually did a pretty smart move. He turned over, got up, he realized Barnett was not going to be able to submit him. But he did not cover up. Now we watch here. Here's a replay here. He's doing a good job, but he's not covering as he comes up. Look, he's just... And then he's sitting there like this. He's not going for the clinch. He's throwing wild punches. He got hit. Barnett landed 50% of his punches standing up, which is a pretty high percentage in MMA.
He did a great job countering some of the action of Jay White earlier. And then when he had his chance, he puts it away to win for the 4th consecutive time by way of knockout and improve his record to 5-0. And no one in the XFC can play the crowd better than the 24-year-old Tampa, Florida native, Chris Barnett. Whether it's about 275 or 300 or whatever he's weighing in at. That's one thing we're not always sure of, but you are certain that this guy is a good, talented young fighter. And it's good to see Jay White, after taking some beating there in about a span of 10 seconds, back on his feet. As we look at our final CompuStrike stats, and you see the number there, Barnett actually throwing more punches, landing more punches. White maybe early on had more effective punches, but Barnett clearly with that barrage to end it here in round 1. Now let's go up and get the official time.
Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise! That's some action right there. That's what it's all about. Your winner at 4 minutes and 39 seconds of round number 1, representing Team XFC, Chris Beast Boy Barnett!